you do get a different kind of tribalism on the internet than you get in real life, of course, but it's not a tribalism that lends itself as easily to violence. Take, for example, the different degrees of violence in something like a rugby tournament or a soccer tournament in Europe. Compare it to something like a competitive LAN party, where people get together, one of these giant gaming tournaments where the cash prizes are really very large for the winners. And there are professional gamers, but they don't end up shooting air horns at each other and punching each other bloody.
Yes, there's definitely a different dynamic that occurs on the internet, and really even when people take out their anger on the internet, I wouldn't do it myself, but it seems to be a kind of substitute for taking pitchforks and storming the city hall, which would have been a popular expression of discontent in pre-internet days. Yes, pretty much. Some people get angry for one reason or another, or feel the need to express their frustration and contempt, and better to have them do it remotely via their computer than to do it in person.
There is, of course, the greater internet dickwad theory, where people use much fouler language on the internet than they would use in real life, even at something like a soccer or a rugby tournament, where the language can get pretty foul. It'll often be fouler on the internet.
Yes, well, in-person interactions do have the feature of holding the individual very closely accountable.
There's a risk of reprisal if you call someone's mother a terrible name.
Yes.
Whereas on the internet, who's going to do anything about it? So the bad language perpetuates, even though it's no harm to anyone, really, and no one intends to back anything up.
The response in in-person interactions, it's immediate. If you say something another person doesn't like, the backlash, unless the other person is doing a really good job at suppressing it, is instantaneous. On the other hand, on the internet, there's also this lag. And this lag allows one, I think, to have a little bit more comfort with posting something.
Well, it depends on your medium on the internet. If you're talking about a forum, then yes, there's going to be some kind of time lag. But even with a lot of these news aggregator sites where you comment, on Reddit you comment and there's going to be a reply comment if you've said something controversial within 30 seconds. Which is almost as fast as real life. And if you're talking about something even closer to live, like an MMORPG or even a chat room, God, does anyone use chat rooms anymore? Maybe IRC, something like that. Then the reprisal is instantaneous. But it's not physical, and we're able to tolerate it a lot better.
Yes. Well, my experience has mostly been in online media where the communication is a bit more delayed. The most extreme case, of course, is the case of somebody writing an article and publishing it, and then if somebody really wants to argue with that person, then another article is written in response. And that kind of discussion, it can, of course, become quite heated with various kinds of polemic wars. Flame wars, they're sometimes called.
Polemic war?
But at other times it can be really thoughtful. One of the great benefits of communication on the internet for people who take advantage of it, which is far from everyone, is the opportunity to think about something before you put it in writing, before you send it out via an email or post it as an article. And generally I prefer longer, more thoughtful commentaries for that reason, because I feel like I can get more out of them than out of a chat room.
I think that we are perceiving different uses for the internet. You're thinking of it as an educational tool that you can use to improve who you are and what you know. And I'm thinking of it as more of a social tool where you can improve who you know, or maybe improve is the wrong word, expand who you know and what you know. And both of these have their uses, I think, though the kinds of people you encounter and the things they write are very different in each case. Well, but that's another excellent point about the internet, that there are all of these different places for what you want, you know?
Yes.
If you want long polemics, not of the especially heated variety, but of the intellectual variety, you can go to various philosophical or political websites and find those. And if you want social websites, you can go to Reddit or Dig or various others.
Yes, and the variety definitely draws a lot of people to the internet. And one great point, I think, to make is this expansion of variety is beneficial because it allows individuals who are in the minority and who wouldn't be benefited or recognized in any significant way by the mainstream media to actually advance their own understanding of what is desirable.
Oh,
and
yes.
some of these we may disagree with and even dislike intensely, but on the other hand, it also allows very intelligent and thoughtful and original people to have a forum and to be able to attract an audience.
Yes.